The meaning of the movie. Author Orpheus on Read for Minutes, published 11.04. 2019 updated 16.10. 2019 men's complexes and fears are reflected in the movie to the fullest extent. These include the fear of losing his beloved wife, the anticipation of having a child of his own, the fear of being alone in old age, when he is sick and infirm, and even the fear of not being able to handle a car or getting stuck in an unfamiliar area at night. The worst part is that these fears live in every man, of every age and social status, even if he is a complete atheist and skeptic. Explanation of the movie Ghost Stories. Andy Nyman is superb as Philip Goodman, the host of a TV show designed to debunk belief in the supernatural. The skeptical Goodman doesn't just demolish the false practices of charlatans claiming psychic abilities, he feels a certain vain glee in what he is doing. At the beginning of the film, he debunks the charlatan psychic, but does not sympathize with the emotionally broken woman who has just been duped by the fraudster. It's clear from the start that Goodman is on a pedestal from which he must be righteously knocked off. Soon, that's exactly what happens. Goodman is contacted by Charles Cameron, a paranormal researcher from the 70s, a man who inspired Goodman as a child. Cameron is Goodman's role model, an accomplished practitioner of deconstructionist television, a man who has disproved supernatural phenomena. Goodman has long thought Cameron dead, but then discovers that he is living in a mobile home, sick, lonely, and disillusioned with his beliefs. Cameron tells Goodman that he's changed his mind about something he's spent a lifetime disproving, and 3 incidents contributed to it. He then demands that Goodman investigate these unexplained supernatural events. Goodman finds 3 men haunted by ghosts, a night watchman in a former insane asylum, a young man who was hit by a car on a forest road at night by an unidentifiable creature, and, finally, the haunted Martin Freeman, who was preparing to become a father when he was no longer young. The structure of the movie is 3 relatively self-contained short films that are linked by a single thematic framework. Interestingly, the ghosts haunt men who have real problems in their lives, and Goodman readily attributes all cases of the paranormal to hallucinations from their experiences. For example, the first man's wife died of cancer and his daughter has an incurable mental illness. And the ghost that haunts him calls him daddy, seeks to hug and hold him. The father-to-be learns from a poltergeist that his wife will die in childbirth, producing a monster. A guy who hits someone on a forest road is tormented by the scary and incomprehensible. He is alone and there is nowhere to wait for help, just like in real life. Nyman and Dyson offer the viewer not the usual telling of ghost stories that frighten with sudden appearances, but provide emotional tension based on simple, interconnected elements. The first story, about a night watchman at an orphanage, relies on such classic horror elements as faulty electricity, lanterns that go out, and footsteps in the dark. But the ghost girl doesn't set out to scare or kill, she embraces the terrified man like a daughter and runs her fingers over his face, stopping at the mouth area. In this movie there is no panic, murder, blood, dismemberment and other attributes of horror films of recent years. But the tension does not let go of the viewer throughout the tape. When each of the individual stories reaches a climax, the narrative is replaced by another picture, but it is not disappointing, because the way in which Dyson and Nyman allow a new plot twist to be built into each story is surprisingly effective. And then Martin Freeman shows up in the final act to give it a new, unexpected shape. The meaning of the ending of the movie Ghost Stories. The finale turns fear into psycho-horror and puts the whole movie upside down. As the 3 pieces of the puzzle unfold in the 4th and final act, hallucinations and paranoia lead the protagonist to suicidal thoughts. He fails to fulfill his plan, and now he lies in a deep coma, experiencing his life in a new way, through the prism of other people and their fates, caused by the delirium of an inflamed brain. But what concerns him himself, a terrible and inexplicable truth that lives deep in Goodman's subconscious. And it's ready to come out. Write in the comments your meaning of the movie Ghost Stories. We look forward to it.